I have a pear tree which has 4 different kinds of pear grafted to it. This tree is about 4 or 5 years old, and it has not been growing that well in this area, partly because there is a large tree which shades some of it, and you can see the next tree is the plum. It's a plum tree, and this was planted at the same time that this one, but look how much it has grown. This one is probably like 20 feet, whereas this pear tree didn't grow much. This has been stunted a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transplant it to an area where of the yard where there is more sunlight, and also I have some apple trees in that area, so the pear will work well with the apple tree. So this video is to show how I transplant it. So mostly few things to know: that if you want to transplant a fruit tree, do it during the dormant season. So right now it's in January, early January, and fortunately our temperatures have been really warm in the Virginia, Washington DC area. So this gives me at least a week or so to transplant it. You don't want to transplant when the ground is frozen, and also you don't want to transplant where the buds are coming out. There are chances with the warm weather that some of the buds might sprout, but I will take this time to transplant it while the temperature is warmer. One thing to do is I will dig around the tree as big as I can, so that I can lift up the tree with a lot of roots. So that's what you want, is as much roots as possible and as big of a hole you can. So for digging, I have a pick and a shovel. That's all I will use. The pick is a good one to dig around, and the shovel will remove the soil. So the tree had some really shallow roots, and partly because the soil is not really good underneath. So even transplanting it from the soil to richer soil will help. So this is how I was able to dig out most of it. On the sides I had to cut some roots. So for example, this was a big root, but I will see how it goes and after I transplant it. So here is the root ball. It has enough roots to survive and the dirt here is much darker, and at least I can see a lot of earthworms in there. So much more richer. Even if it doesn't get any more other things, the soil will make it grow faster. So what I got here is some organic matter, and this is what I use for fertilizing my plants. Mostly these are the organic matter from a horse farm, and I will go and add some more in here and make it a little fertile, and then I will plant the root ball in there. Make sure that you have a lot of space when you put the root ball in, and dig as much as you can. So here I've placed the plant in there, or the tree in there, and what I'm going to do is make sure the roots are covered with soil inside. So I will tamp it a little bit with my legs just to make sure that there is no air gaps in there, and you can see it's still pretty soft in here, and over time it will rain today, and if not, you should water it frequently, almost every day for the first 2 weeks. And do not fertilize it at least for the next 6 months or up to a year, and let the roots take hold before you fertilize it. But if you fertilize it, you can fertilize at a very low rate, and we will see how this takes hold. So this one has Seckel pear and an Anjou pear, and I had a Bartlett, and then there is the biggest one that has grown is the Summer Crisp pear. So that stem came out the strongest, and we'll see how it fares in this sunny area. And I also have another apple tree here. It has 6 type of apples in there, and 2 over here. One is a Fuji, and this one is a Honeycrisp. So these are newer, and those are probably 4 years old and needs a little more fertilizer this year. And this one has one part has grown. I hope it spreads out more in this sunny location. Hope it helps those who have fruit trees. If you're planning to transplant it, hope this video helps.